A little bit about me. I am leading the Gnosis app, which is the consumer business unit within Gnosis. We're trying to bring, for those who know, the Circles protocol to the world. Um, Previously, I was part of the founding team at Gnosis Pay. So yeah, I've spent the last 3 years in the payments world and the money world, both from a traditional and like TradFi perspective, but also from a very crypto native perspective with Circles and Gnosis. Um, and today, like Adrian said, I'll probably not speak. I wanted to kind of take a step back rather than speaking more technically. I wanted to remind ourselves on living the true promise of crypto and why all of us are here probably in the first place. Um, so how did it all start? Right? Like I think in the 1980s, 90s, there was a loose group of cryptographers, programmers, libertarians, privacy advocates that were kind of coming together and sharing ideas. Um, and a lot of their core beliefs were that money should work like information on the internet, should be permissionless and global. Money should not be censored. Um, Internet native money should not require any trusted third party to move or transact or hold. And lastly, underneath all of this, we should try and defend privacy, autonomy, and permissionless interaction as much as possible, right? I think these were the kind of the core beliefs underpinning what we see as crypto today. And it's been decades of work, right? It's not just 2008 when Bitcoin was kind of the white paper launched, but it's been years of ideas before, and I still don't do justice on this slide. I just mentioned some key points here from 1983, but I think there was a lot of work, especially around sovereign and community money that had happened even before this, and a lot of work during this period of time as well. Um, and I think everyone was trying to solve one problem since a long time, and that was, can money be moved and held without a trusted intermediary, right? Um, and we did kind of solve it in 2008, or rather 2009. This is a photo of the Genesis block of Bitcoin. And there's a very interesting note that Satoshi writes, right? Like the UK Chancellor is on the brink of the second bailout for banks. This is, of course, roughly during the 2008 recession, the crisis, and kind of underpins or gives us the context on why technology like this is super important. This wasn't a one-off grievance. This wasn't a one-off bailout by the banks or by the government for the banks. We've seen countless examples of this. The most recent one being the SVB crisis in 2023, where the government kind of bailed out all the uninsured depositors. We've also had a bail-in, I think it was 2013 in Cyprus, when the large depositors in most Cypriot banks, especially the ones who had more than $100,000 in their bank accounts, were asked to pay off some of the losses of the banks, and because the monetary system failed. Um, so coming back to Bitcoin and what it actually solved is two things. It removed the need for institutional trust by solving the double spending problem, like probably some of you are aware. And it fixed supply, which meant no government or central bank rather could print more money to bail out anyone for their problems. Well, what happened is it became a great store of value, but as money, you also need it to be stable and like available for everyday use. It failed at that. Um, so where are we today? It's been 17 years roughly. A lot has happened since then. Ethereum was born. We had DeFi, lots of financial infrastructure being built that was permissionless. Lots of credible crypto-backed stablecoin attempts. right? But I want to kind of fast forward to today and then speak about stablecoins. Um, Stablecoins are awesome, right? Like they help with so many things. Um, they help with cross-border payments. They help with savings in a better currency, that is the dollar, for people that are in weak currencies. They help with faster settlement. They help with many things, right? 99% of the total value today of stablecoins is dollar denominated, right? But stablecoins are not self-sovereign money. They are simply tokenized access to someone else's sovereign money, and in this case, it's largely the US dollar, right? You holding USDC or USDT in a self-custodial wallet is not self-sovereign money. It's just someone else's private IOU. And as kind of stablecoins are adopted more and more, which we see every day, as government and institutions start adopting it, as regulators start adopting it, we pretty much are inheriting the same weaknesses that crypto set out to solve. They solve friction, but they don't solve dependence. Bitcoin came about to solve the problem of trust, to have a trustless system, to reduce dependence. Stablecoins, you're still pretty much monetarily dependent on the US monetary system. You still have issuer risk. Circle or Tether can very much freeze you out at will if they want. Yeah, your identity can be excluded. And I'm not saying stablecoins are bad. I just think they're incomplete. Stablecoins work for a lot of people in the world, but they do not work for everyone. They are simply a side effect of crypto, in my view. But this is not why the technology was built in the first place. It was meant to empower individuals with more financial sovereignty. That is why crypto came about in the first place. And who are these people? It's the people that are over-controlled. It's the people that are excluded. It's the people that are disillusioned with the existing systems. The ones that the system is watching either too closely, or the ones that are simply being ignored, or the system has forgotten them, right? Like, what do these faces look like, right? The ones that are over-controlled. Think about people in Lebanon, right? Depositors frozen out of their savings randomly. Think about Afghanistan, where women are blocked from holding accounts, holding bank accounts. Think about hundreds of refugees or people who don't have a state. Their financial identity is just simply lost at the border. Think about the people that are debanked or not favorable for the existing systems. Think about protesters, think about sex workers. I can think of a very specific example in India, which is my home country. We had about 86% cash, physical cash, that most people think is kind of holy grail, right? It's self-custodial. That was voided overnight in 2017 during demonetization. This is not it, right? Like, these are the over-controlled people. But what about the disillusioned, right? This is the quieter problem, right? These are the people who are probably in fairly developed economies, fairly developed monetary systems, maybe in the West, but they're being quietly diluted by inflation in a dollar system they don't control. You're probably in Europe, you're using stablecoins, you are pretty much fully attached to the US monetary system. You didn't vote for, you didn't vote for the US government or the people that are running the central bank. And the other thing, or the other kind of people that are also affected are communities. Communities that have a lot of real value to share within those members, a lot of tangible value, but they do not have enough fiat money that circulates. An example that comes to mind is the Sarafu community in Kenya. They have roughly 50,000 people who use a voucher-based system because they don't have access to the Kenyan fiat or enough liquidity. So yeah, what is dependence? Dependence is not necessarily only when when you're shut out, it's also being diluted by a system that you can't opt out of or you didn't vote for. So what's the dream then? Well, the dream is creating money that is self-sovereign, that is stable, that is private, and that is widely accepted. And this is non-trivial. The truth is, there's no one that's been able to solve it so far. Let's look at let's look at some experiments, right? Bitcoin, we spoke about it. It's highly self-sovereign, but it's not stable. It has a fixed supply. It's scarce. You cannot really use it as a medium of exchange. It's not private, at least yet. And well, is it widely accepted? Partially, probably. We had privacy coins that tried to bring privacy, which is awesome. Think Monero, think Zcash. They're self-sovereign, but they're not stable. They're not really widely accepted. And also, they face a lot of problem with the regulators. Stable coins, USDC, USDT, all the other ones, stable, widely accepted, even getting more and more by the day, by the minute. But they're not self-sovereign, not private. We had decentralized stablecoins. We had Liquidity, we had Rye, we've had DAI. That's kind of becoming less and less decentralized. They're generally self-sovereign and stable, but they lack on privacy or adoption or acceptance, right? And then we have community money, something like Circles, where every individual in the system creates their own money. It is highly self-sovereign. It's not necessarily as stable. We're not yet private. And we've not found mass adoption like we wanted. The truth is, a lot of these properties that I kind of show on the slide, they have very strong tension against each other. And, well, come to the end of the slide. It is my personal mission to bring this dream money to this world to empower people globally with more financial sovereignty. It is these 4 properties. It's a non-trivial problem to solve. Many people have tried to solve it in so many ways. In my view, the 4th one is the hardest problem to solve, which is making it widely accepted. I feel a lot of crypto teams index highly on engineering, but don't spend enough time, effort, and resources on distribution and coordination of people, which is what the 4th point is about. And yeah, this is going to be my personal mission. I want to genuinely help the people that this technology is supposed to help. I think it's important we also realize that we do not need this dream money for every individual in the world. The current system works for a good part of the population. And rather than trying to, force this new kind of money down their throat, let's actually help people that need it. So, well, if you want to join my mission, back me or support me, feel free to reach me on Telegram. And thank you so much for listening to me today.